Thousands of years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Force was revered and studied across many worlds, with various religions and sects emerging to devote themselves to understanding this primal cosmic energy. The most famed and influential of these groups came to be known as the Jedi, a monastic order of Force-sensitive individuals that dedicated themselves to the light side, practicing humility, patience, empathy, and compassion. Over many years of training, some of these Jedi grew to become immensely powerful in the Force, able to move objects with their mind, detect other Force users, and manipulate the weak-minded. It also enhanced their physical abilities, making them faster, stronger, and more resistant to distress and pain. Given their extraordinary abilities, they became masters of lightsaber combat, wielding weapons powered by kyber crystals, many of which were found on the planet of Elam. In order to prevent abuses of power or the corruption of their community, a council of Jedi Masters was chosen to oversee their affairs and ensure all Jedi adhered to the principles of the Jedi Code. Yet not all were content to obey the rigid rules and slow training process of the Order, desiring to expand their knowledge and increase their abilities without restraint. One such individual came to believe that there was a power in their base primal emotions, channeling fear, anger, and pain to harness the energy of the dark side. The dark side offered Force sensitives a faster, more intense training regimen that led them to great power far more quickly than traditional Jedi teachings. It also presented a whole new understanding of the Force to be studied and explored, which eventually allowed them to wield exciting new abilities like Force lightning. However, when the Rogue explained his new philosophy to the Jedi Council, they were outraged, exiling him from the Order. Yet many other Jedi were fascinated by this new approach to the Force, and so followed the Rogue, learning the ways of the dark side. The Sith, as they became known, inevitably came into conflict with their former brothers in the Force during a time known as the 100-Year Darkness. Yet the Sith were not able to overcome the well-established Jedi Order, and so retreated into unexplored space, settling on the planet of Moraband, where they built a new dark side civilization that would expand to conquer many other planets and systems. Upon Moraband, they built great temples, one of which housed an execution chamber where they sacrificed Jedi prisoners. Many of the Sith were buried in the Valley of the Dark Lords, and it was from Moraband that they planned their wars against the Jedi Order and the alliance of planets known as the Republic, which the Jedi protected. For many years, the Sith battled their ancient enemy in conflicts that grew so deadly, superweapons powered by enormous kyber crystals were built to inflict mass devastation. When the fighting reached the planet of Malachor, a superweapon within a Sith temple was activated, destroying the world in what came to be known as the Great Scourge of Malachor. During the chaos of these years, the Sith invaded and held Coruscant, capital of the Republic, and there built a shrine to the dark side. Eventually, the Republic would take back this world, and so the Jedi attempted to seal off the dark side influence by building a great light side temple over the shrine, but this was only partially successful, and the Sith would one day come to make great use of this ancient source of dark side energy. During the Dark Age, they fought a final conflict known as the Jedi Sith War, where once again the Sith captured Coruscant, only for the planet to be liberated in the year 1032 BBY. Despite the great advances and unending aggression of the mighty Sith, years of infighting weakened them to such an extent they were ultimately defeated by the Jedi, with the legendary dark side master Darth Bane emerging from the conflict as the sole surviving Sith Lord. Recognizing the self-destructive nature of the Sith and wanting to avoid future infighting, Darth Bane created the Rule of Two, declaring that only two Sith could ever exist at any one time, a master to embrace the power of the dark side and an apprentice to desire that power. In this way, they would work in the shadows, secretly manipulating events to destroy the Jedi Order and return the Sith to dominance throughout the galaxy. Darth Bane was eventually defeated by the Jedi, and after his death was buried in the Valley of the Dark Lords on Moraband, but his teachings and philosophy lived on through his secret apprentice, who escaped Jedi notice. The years of chaos and war took a heavy toll on the galaxy and ultimately led to the fall of the Old Republic. Yet with the Sith seemingly defeated, a new galactic republic emerged and for 1,000 years flourished under the protection of the Jedi Order. Slowly and without need for violence or war, the Republic expanded across the galaxy, spreading their values of democracy, equality, and justice to all member worlds. Those outside their borders, however, were often left to their own devices, making the outer rim of the galaxy a refuge refuge for pirates and criminals, which then led to a culture of animosity between Republic and non-Republic worlds. Meanwhile, the legacy of Darth Bane continued on in the shadows, with his apprentice becoming Master of the Sith, and in keeping with the rule of two, took on a single apprentice. With only 2 Sith ever alive at one time, the only method of advancement would be for the apprentice to kill and take the place of their master, and so the relationship was maintained on a balance of loyalty and strength. As long as the master was strong, the apprentice owed absolute obedience. Yet if either one wavered in their strength or loyalty, the other would be justified to attack, leaving only a single Sith alive to find a new apprentice and begin the process again. Do your shopping on Amazon? Then why not use the link in the description box below to either the Canadian, American, or UK Amazon sites, where you support the channel with every purchase at no extra cost to you. So if you do your shopping on Amazon anyway, why not use the link below and help support CivilizationEx? A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Michael the Stallion Sixsmith, Galvera 8 Hands, Amethyst Honeywine, and Hayaki Snowbeard. If you would like to help CivilizationEx, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and click on the links to see more.